How many of you have been very strange today? How much of that is your awareness of the future? And what is possible now that is truly never, and when I say never, I mean never been possible before? How many possibilities have you given up on that, if you didn't give up on them, would change your life for the greater? What else is possible? How does it get any better than this? What can I choose that I never imagined? Is this my future showing up in a way I've never imagined? What's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about me I'm not getting? How much fun can I have? What if you weren't alone anymore? And then what else is possible we've never imagined? What if you don't have to be alone anymore? What if you've been a this reality-aholic, and what if that's where the hope went? What if it's not your lack of hope? What if it's that you've been somehow believing that this reality will give it to you? But what if it's not this reality's fault? It's doing its thing. Its job is to control you from ever being a miracle. And what if you have been choosing to be part of being controlled to never be a miracle? And what if you don't have to control you to not be a miracle anymore? And what if your body's showing you you're a miracle, beautiful you? What have you decided? Number one, what have you decided is your primary problem, and all of the sets of your primary problems that you cannot solve that keep you in a life of suffering? What if you don't have to suffer anymore? What if all suffering is self-inflicted by our choice? So what have you decided are the problems you personally need to solve right now to go beyond suffering, to end your suffering? And what have you decided are the problems that your only choice is to fight against in order to solve and change them? So will you allow me and the universe to contribute to you, please? Do you realize how few sources of contribution we believe there are? Therefore, how few sources of contribution show up for us, because our point of view creates our reality. So what are the contributions that you couldn't even fathom could contribute, that if you allowed yourself to see everything as a contribution, would change the entire flavor of your world? How do you think we can help the poorest billion people? By being you and not aligning and agreeing, nor resisting and reacting, and acknowledging their choice was made for some reason. What about if you had, let's say, 20% more joy? What if you had 20% more joy? Just 20%. What if the basis of reality as you have bought it and it's been sold to you is not true anymore? Would you be willing to let go of all of the lies that you have been buying and trying to buy? What are the infinite possibilities for this? And how much do you care? And how much do you almost not even want to acknowledge it because it's been twisted into so many things where You feel like because you care so much, you're responsible for changing everything that goes on for everyone. And then how much do you try to eliminate your caring so you're not the effect, because you try to do what you can to change people, which usually means taking on all the structures of their suffering and all of them making that real. And now you feel like you've got all their structures of suffering and reality, and they haven't changed theirs. They're still doing it. And now you try to do it with more people, and now you feel totally overwhelmed. But its basis was in something so beautiful, which is your caring. It's one of the most twisted things in this world. And how much have you bent, fold, stapled, twisted, and mutilated you based on a level of caring that you have, that the only solution seems to try to cut off your caring and go, well, then fuck them, let them do what they want. But that's not actually your caring. What if true caring is total allowance? What if true caring is, I care so much for you that if right now what you need to do is choose something painful, if right now what you need to do is choose to suffer to validate your point of view of reality, I still care. And I can be all of me. And I am so here for you if you desire something, but I'm not going to judge you or me if you don't desire anything different. And I want to be such a space of caring that I actually care for me too. And realize that caring for me is not changing you. Caring for me is being an allowance, which is where everything you choose is an interesting point of view. Wouldn't it have been beautiful and phenomenal if somebody, anybody, maybe a lot of somebodies would have been there like that for us? We look at people and we're like, well, you need to choose something different. I care about you so much, and I'll suffer if you don't choose something different. But what if we acknowledge that they know? What if they know? What if they actually know? And what if they know what to choose? What if they know when to choose it? Because look at this for a moment. How many times, how much suffering have you had to go through to get to certain spaces of awareness beyond the suffering? And if somebody had tried to say, hey, this is possible, and tried to get you to choose it, would you have said, oh, thank you? Or would you have gone, fuck you, stop judging me? So how does it work? You see somebody choosing something and you know it's not as great as what they could choose from your point of view. So you go into judgment of them because you care. But for you, it feels like caring because that's what your parents did to you. And now you try to control their choice. And when you can't, then you get really fucked up. But what if you didn't have to anymore? What if you could just care and have the beauty of that? Because what we're missing is the beauty of being alive, and there's so much available now more than ever. Wow, how many of the things that you have were instituted way back then and nobody's ever been able to talk to you about it? What if we truly can change the basis of what has made us believe in judgment and limitation and made us believe somehow in the destruction of our being and the lack of joy? And what if, once again, changing all of the things we can change doesn't occur in any way that we thought it would? Have you ever had a moment in your life where you were just a different space and it changed everything? That is just one of the amazing gifts of you. The space that you are, that by its very nature changes structures and melts them. What else is truly friggin' possible? How many of you have been very strange today? How much of that is your awareness of the future? And what is possible now that is truly never, and when I say never, I mean never been possible before? How many possibilities have you given up on that if you didn't give up on them would change your life for the greater? What else is possible? How does it get any better than this? What can I choose that I never imagined? Is this my future showing up in a way I've never imagined? What's right about this I'm not getting? What's right about me I'm not getting? How much fun can I have? What if you weren't alone anymore? And then what else is possible we've never imagined? What if you don't have to be alone anymore? What if you've been a this reality-aholic, and what if that's where the hope went? What if it's not your lack of hope? What if it's that you've been somehow believing that this reality will give it to you? But what if it's not this reality's fault? It's doing its thing. Its job is to control you from ever being a miracle. And what if you have been choosing to be part of being controlled to never be a miracle? And what if you don't have to control you to not be a miracle anymore? And what if your body's showing you you're a miracle, beautiful you? What have you decided? Number one, what have you decided is your primary problem, and all of the sets of your primary problems that you cannot solve that keep you in a life of suffering? What if you don't have to suffer anymore? What if all suffering is self-inflicted by our choice? So what have you decided are the problems you personally need to solve right now to go beyond suffering, to end your suffering? And what have you decided are the problems that your only choice is to fight against in order to solve and change them? So will you allow me and the universe to contribute to you, please? Do you realize how few sources of contribution we believe there are? Therefore, how few sources of contribution show up for us, because our point of view creates our reality. So what are the contributions that you couldn't even fathom could contribute, that if you allowed yourself to see everything as a contribution, would change the entire flavor of your world? How do you think we can help the poorest billion people? By being you and not aligning and agreeing, nor resisting and reacting, and acknowledging their choice was made for some reason. What about if you had, let's say, 20% more joy? What if you had 20% more joy? Just 20%. What if the basis of reality as you have bought it and it's been sold to you is not true anymore? Would you be willing to let go of all of the lies that you have been buying and trying to buy? What are the infinite possibilities for this? And how much do you care? And how much do you almost not even want to acknowledge it because it's been twisted into so many things where you feel like because you care so much, you're responsible for changing everything that goes on for everyone? And then how much do you try to eliminate your caring so you're not the effect, because you try to do what you can to change people, which usually means taking on all the structures of their suffering and all of them making that real. And now you feel like you've got all their structures of suffering and reality, and they haven't changed theirs. They're still doing it. And now you try to do it with more people, and now you feel totally overwhelmed. But its basis was in something so beautiful, which is your caring. It's one of the most twisted things in this world. And how much have you bent, fold, stapled, twisted, and mutilated you based on a level of caring that you have, that the only solution seems to try to cut off your caring and go, well, then fuck them, let them do what they want. But that's not actually your caring. What if true caring is total allowance? What if true caring is I care so much for you that if right now what you need to do is choose something painful, if right now what you need to do is choose to suffer to validate your point of view of reality, I still care. And I can be all of me. And I am so here for you if you desire something, but I'm not going to judge you or me if you don't desire anything different. And I want to be such a space of caring that I actually care for me too. And realize that caring for me is not changing you. Caring for me is being an allowance, which is where everything you choose is an interesting point of view. Wouldn't it have been beautiful and phenomenal if somebody, anybody, maybe a lot of somebodies would have been there like that for us? We look at people and we're like, well, you need to choose something different. I care about you so much, and I'll suffer if you don't choose something different. But what if we acknowledge that they know? What if they know? What if they actually know? And what if they know what to choose? What if they know when to choose it? Because look at this for a moment. How many times, how much suffering have you had to go through to get to certain spaces of awareness beyond the suffering? And if somebody had tried to say, hey, this is possible, and tried to get you to choose it, would you have said, oh, thank you? Or would you have gone, fuck you, stop judging me? So how does it work? You see somebody choosing something and you know it's not as great as what they could choose from your point of view. So you go into judgment of them because you care. But for you, it feels like caring because that's what your parents did to you. And now you try to control their choice. And when you can't, then you get really fucked up. But what if you didn't have to anymore? What if you could just care and have the beauty of that? Because what we're missing is the beauty of being alive, and there's so much available now more than ever. Wow, how many of the things that you have were instituted way back then and nobody's ever been able to talk to you about it? What if we truly can change the basis of what has made us believe in judgment and limitation and made us believe somehow in the destruction of our being and the lack of joy? And what if, once again, changing all of the things we can change doesn't occur in any way that we thought it would? Have you ever had a moment in your life where you were just a different space and it changed everything? That is just one of the amazing gifts of you. The space that you are, that by its very nature changes structures and melts them. What else is truly friggin' possible?